I joined the DAFNI technical team in 2019 as a senior software engineer, have since written very little code and become team lead. So I'm going to talk to you today about the DAFNI platform itself, so the technical nuts and bolts of the platform. I can see in the audience some familiar faces. We have quite a nice relationship with our users, so nice to see you, friends, colleagues. And for those of you who haven't or can't perhaps so far access the DAFNI platform, this is a bit of a deep dive. It's a bit of a technical deep dive, but I hope it will give you an overview of the development work that we're doing on the platform. There are some very interesting architecture diagrams on here that I'm not going to go through in detail, but if you want to know more, the DAFNI technical team are available to give demos throughout all of the breaks today. So who are the DAFNI technical team? I say we are doing this work, etc. When I talk about the platform development, but we is the team. We may be identified by our snazzy t-shirts. We're all matching. But there's me up here, I'm the team lead. Then we have Rose, who is our tech lead, and Jens, who many of you may know, has fingers in many projects across STFC, and we have the benefit of his security architectural mind also here on DAFNI. On the left-hand side, we have Kyle and Esther, who are our user liaison team. So for anybody who will be onboarding onto DAFNI in the near future, is expecting to come on board and bring models to DAFNI, then these are the people that you will probably start talking to about the best way of doing that. Esther is also on our development team, along with Sarah, Jack, Caroline, Joel, and Lewis. So they spend their days building these new features. Caroline and Lewis actually, at the moment, are seconded to form our systems team while we go through some staffing changes. And so if you're really interested in Kubernetes, they're the people to talk to. So I'm going to spend most of my time talking about what we are doing at the moment, but just to spend a little bit of time talking about what we have done in the last year. It's quite a long list, and over the last year our team shrunk down to actually being quite small, so we're very proud of this list actually. A few bits to highlight are we have done a major overhaul of the user interface around our workflows. So Brian mentioned the kind of foundation of DAFNI. We are a platform where you can upload data and models and run those models with that data in workflows where you can connect many models together in that workflow. So we've improved the user interface of building those workflows dramatically. There is a view mode now, so you can go and see what other people are doing in their workflows, kind of helping that collaboration piece, the discovery piece. We have made some changes to our data provision, so allowing you to bulk download files. It sounds small, but actually it's a really positive change. And we have managed to remove a file cap limit of 5 gigabytes on our data upload, so you can now upload larger files. And there are others, which I won't go through. But again, these are all in our release notes. When we make an update to the platform, you get all these notes and you can talk to the technical team about them. So where are we developing? We have 4 sort of target development areas, and these tie into that list that Brian showed you about what the aims are for the platform in fostering collaboration, allowing you to share your results, etc. So the 4 areas of work that we've identified are, the first is in scaling, so allowing people to bring larger data sets onto DAFNI and run with bigger models, especially when you're looking at resilience to environmental change and you're bringing on environmental data. Geospatial data is big, and so we're working to better support that. Data services. At the moment, the majority of data on the DAFNI platform is uploaded by our users. The vast majority of data on the DAFNI platform is uploaded by our users. You upload the data you need to run your model. But over the years, when we present data at DAFNI, go out and have conferences and meet new people, the question that we're always asked first is, so what data have you got on DAFNI? And we are recognising that there's a community need to have a curated set of data available on the platform. So that's what that work is about. Research legacy. We have a number of projects on DAFNI which have now concluded, and we retain their work on DAFNI. So that is still available. It remains available throughout. And supporting that journey of showing your legacy to others is something that we think is important and are prioritising. And finally, our absolute bread and butter as a technical team day to day, how can we make DAFNI easier to use? So I'm going to go through 6 items of current development. This is where it's going to get really deep. As I said, if you have questions, feel free to come and talk to us afterwards. So the first thing that we're really excited is about to come out now is our command line interface. So we've known for a while that those who prefer to work through the command line, and we do have a lot of people in our community who prefer to do that, then this is a huge step towards simplifying use. The command line interface can be used to view, update, delete, view, upload, update and delete datasets, models and workflows. So for those of you who know these things, that means you can basically set everything up through the command line beforehand, before you actually run your workflow. The source code for that is already available. I should say there's a handy QR code as well. There are more QR codes if you want to have your phones ready. The source code for this is available on our DAFNI GitHub pages, which you can Google. And we are releasing it as a Python pip package, which is where that QR code will take you if you're interested. So that will be a Python interface for DAFNI. It's in pre-release at the moment, and the aim is to release it on Thursday officially. So please do check that out. This is a large piece of work that we're doing across the development team now, is to bring on a data sensor pilot. This plays into the themes of improving our data services as well as improving scaling across DAFNI. So as I said, most data sets are uploaded by our users, but we are aware, we have many people who talk to us about sensor data, and in the framework around digital twins, that's particularly important that you can have sensor data being brought onto the platform. So we're trialling that and making a first iteration of it using Network Rail data. So Network Rail publish their data in CIF format. They don't necessarily keep an historical record of it. So we are building readers, which will take in that CIF format, do some transformation, store it long term. So we will end up with an archive of National Rail data. And we're also updating our data provision so that you can make requests for sections of that data. And we will give that to you in GTFS format, which is much more commonly used. And this is a part of a larger jigsaw of work around allowing DAFNI to use external data sets. So the question about how are we linking to external, this is the first technical step that we're making in that direction as well. Bit of a change now. We're also looking at basic user accounts. So this may go some way towards answering the question about how non-academic users can get on. This may be a sort of glimpse that you could have. So for the majority of our users, our current logon is absolutely fine. The process is that you make a request and then you are vetted by a member of the senior leadership of the DAFNI team. So we look at who you are and check that we know that you are who you are. This can be a bit slow. If, for example, we have a conference on and everyone's busy, then the process is a bit delayed. As I said, that's fine for the majority of our users who are spending a lot of time on the platform. It's just a small section. But if the person that you're trying to get on is a decision maker who has negative time and needs to look at your results very quickly, then we understand that a 3-day lag in them being able to log on is tricky. So we've created basic user accounts which will allow them to log on straight away and have access to public assets on the DAFNI platform. They won't be able to upload anything or create anything themselves, but they will be able to view things which are public. So if you publicize your work, you can then share that straight away. This is a kind of a long-standing piece of work which has necessitated a security audit of all our code, but we hope to be releasing that next year. Speaking of things being released next year, this is a very exciting piece of work which we're really looking forward to. Those of you who have uploaded models to DAFNI will know that in order to have your model on the platform, you must Dockerize it. It must be a Docker image that you upload. For many people, this is fine. For some people for whom software engineering is not their particular area of interest, learning how to use Docker is a pain and an overhead. And so what we're producing is a system which will allow you to upload moderately simple code. If it's really complex, then we need to be part of that process, but simple code so that when we can automate that Dockerization process for you. You'd be able to upload code or a GitHub URL. It will be language specific, so Python is high on the list, and then we would expand out as the community needs. The really nice thing that this will give us is the ability to test your model quickly without having to build a workflow. For those who know, you know this can be a bit of a pain, and this will allow you to have a quick check. Yes, my model is running on DAFNI, okay. Then on to visualization dashboards, the penultimate, so this is 5 of 6 now. So we have had, on the DAFNI platform, we have the ability for you to create a Jupyter notebook with your data. We have visualization provision, but it's fairly simple. It's like everything else on DAFNI, it has to be highly genericized because we support people across many, many different domains. So we have the ability to use a Jupyter notebook, and we have the ability to use a kind of CSV file interrogator. However, we have had conversations with many people who have developed their own dashboards, which they would like to use to interrogate their own data or their own model results. A classic example being you have run your model in a workflow with a particular set of parameters, and you want to just see quickly, is this, have I got nans, or, is this result roughly what I expected it to be? And a visualization dashboard would give you that. So we have a piece of work here that we're aiming to start and at least have 1 or 2 of these on board by the end of the year, of taking these user-created dashboards and bringing them onto the DAFNI platform. We have enough now that I think we're starting to get a view of what that visualization service could look like. And ultimately, we're moving toward, we'd like to get to a position where, just like models, you can upload a visualization dashboard in a Docker container in the same way as other places. And then the last one. So this is not work that we're currently working on at the moment, but to let you know that it's coming. And again, this will start in the next year. So read-only data for workflows. At the moment, we have a limit on the amount of data that you can run inside your model. And the reason for that is the box here, model, this is your Dockerized model. And when we run that in a workflow, so you have model 1 chaining to model 2, then what we actually do is copy and paste the data inside the running container, which then gives us some limitations on how much we can copy over. So the aim of this piece of work is we are going to change our data, so underlying data service to being Ruxef, which gives us a few more tools, which will allow us then to mount a data set onto a container. So you still have exactly the same process of running your model, creating it and running it, but we can mount more data onto the side of it, which will start, so this is a scaling piece of work to start to get through those limitations of data sizes on running models. Okay, and then I'd like to come to community feedback. I meant to top this by telling you this was coming, but this is the really important QR code coming up now. So we are setting up a technical user group. This is going to be a group that meets regularly. At the moment, the aim is quarterly, to hear technical updates from the DAFNI development team, similar to as I've given you now. So there will be an opportunity for you to give feedback on what we're building. There will be technical discussions, and also to contribute to our questions around priority, like which of these things is the most important. And particularly, I think those user interface discussions for us are especially valuable. There's no requirement to attend everything. You're not signing up for life or anything, but it would be really good. It will be a really interesting exercise. So if you're interested in that, then please do click on the link, sign up, and let us know, and we'll be in touch. I have a quick notice, and then I'll return back to that QR code. We have an absolutely outstanding Slack community, this is a hard thing to say. So for a long time now, we've made excellent use of Slack to talk to our users and had a really, really close interaction. Unfortunately, we are now losing all of our history after 90 days because of changes to the way that Slack operates. And so we are having to shut down Slack as a means of raising support requests. So it's still there for log requests, a specific type of support request called log requests, for networking and any sort of emergency follow-ups. But for support tickets, then please do email support@DAFNI, and we will get back to you just as quickly. So it'll just be on email rather than Slack. And that's it. Thank you.